The following stunts were performed by professionals. So for your safety and the protection of those around you, Paramount Pictures and MTV Films insist that neither you nor your dumb little buddies attempt any of what you are about to see.
My name's on my heart, Jackass. Joining me is the normal host of What Do You Want to Watch, Ashley Hobley.
How you doing? Yeah.
You excited? I don't want too many spoilers, but
that could be.
We'll get to why he sounds like that in a moment. Also here, special guest, Ryan Betson from the PopCulturists.
Hey man, what's going on?
I'm very excited because we'll get straight into it. So, by the sounds of, if you heard Ash's voice, he sounds confused. It's fine. And that's because he's never watched anything Jackass before, and we'll get to that in a moment. But Ryan.
Yes, sir.
The first person I thought of when I was like, oh, Jackass 4 was announced. Jackass Forever. That's why we're doing these. First person I thought of, you. Why would that be?
Because I think I'm very vocally like a big Jackass fan, and you and I both share very similar CKY-esque related fucking Twitter handles. Like it's I kind of wear my love for the franchise on my sleeve previously. I think you and I have had many, many conversations and connections around that, because you and I both had that we're same age, but had that very similar like Bear Margera era, and that's what fed it into me really.
So many people wouldn't know, but so your Twitter name is the name of a movie that Bam did that a lot of people probably have never watched because it's impossible to find unless you find illegally on the internet or something like that. But Bam Margera did a like a legit movie, like he acts in it, but it's not starring him, it stars Dunn. And he wrote and directed it and stars a bunch of friends, but it's about a guy breaking up with a girl. It's like a rom-com, I guess.
It's a big breakup film, so essentially.
Yeah.
It's him sort of coming to terms with that over the hour and a half while his friends skateboard and need Freon from freezers and stuff. Yeah.
So that was the thing he did that I think some people have missed the memo, but yeah. I would say that Jackass and like these core people, this is my, it's not childhood, but teenage years, I guess. It's like, it's like that, like, I don't know, 11 to 15 for me. It was like, I guess we're in the same space. Like, so defining. Like, I have very different eras in my life. And, you know, there's a window of time that is the Jackass and Bam era. And then there is the Kevin Smith era. Then there is like the Kind of Funny era. And like, they're all the different influences that I've had growing up. I guess there's something within those that I needed at that time. I can sort of connect them weirdly because I was still into Jackass stuff, and then when I started listening to like GameScoop and stuff, IGN stuff, because Bam was doing a Sirius XM radio show at the time, and I used to find a website that I could download that to, and I'd download the files to my PSP and then I would take that to school and with headphones in and listen to these Sirius XM radio things and stuff. But yeah, I mean, my high school years was, I had a Bam Margera poster, like giant poster on my wall. I had other Jackass posters of Evil Bam stuff. I like paid, or had my parents pay, I guess at the time, a lot of money to like order in like his special compilation album that you couldn't buy in local stores and all this stuff from America. Yeah, the Viva La Bands thing. You know, like I had all that sort of stuff. Not to mention, I was one of those kids that did not listen to the warning at the start of the any of the stuff, and I recorded. I wish I could find. I was trying to find it, but I don't know where that exists. I used to record my own stuff.
You just commented that, and I'm like, yes, me too. And Ash I'm like, I'm nodding yes. Ash was like, no. What is wrong with both of you?
Explains a lot.
I've done some things that probably, glad they don't exist. But I mean, so my thing was called TWS, which stood for that was stupid, and the W was lowercase. And the S was like, you draw it at like an angle. So I can still remember how I used to draw it, because I used to draw it, I used to sit in class and like, you know how people used to draw those stupid S's or whatever?
Yeah.
I just draw my logo, TWS, So I've always been merchant, I've always been
I never put that much effort.
Still got time.
Just, like jump in bushes and
we can merch that. Trademark that.
Look, if Jackass can come back after X amount of years, I'm pretty sure a bunch of dudes in their mid-30s can like get wrecked. You know what I'm saying? Like it's possible.
Yeah, well, we're younger than they are, so it's fine. But yeah, I remember like one time like walking out of class and a bunch of my friends had wagged the first period, but I hadn't. And they'd stolen a trolley, and I literally walk out of class. They're like, "Dylan, jump in this." And with I was the guy without a thought would be like, "Yeah, totally." And they took me to the parking lot, pushed me full blown at a barricade in the car park that had like a hill on the other side, and just blast me off that, and I'd go fucking sideways and end up back at walking into the what do they call it, like the doctor's room or whatever in the high school. This is like my head gouged open, bleeding. And like all this sort of stuff, like I need help. Like that was my high school, a lot of it. Not to mention I was a skater boy as well, and it was the full. I want to be band player.
It sounds like you and I had a very similar like experience, but just in different states. Like that's pretty much a lot of my late teen years was me just getting hammered and jumping off shit, into shit, skateboarding around, a lot of trolleys. Yeah, like I know you should. I said, look, I know we shouldn't have. They did tell it at the start, but no one fucking listened. Like I was dripping in Jackass merchandise. If I had my own bullshit fucking Bam Margera-esque blazer. Those photos are on my Facebook. Everyone wants to go check it out. It's just as embarrassing as you would expect. This whole franchise. Cause for me, I said, we'll get fucking serious about it. I think because I was quite an anxious kid, and I think a lot of these actors, a lot of these individuals, they had all the things that I didn't. They were fucking like what I perceived to be cool at the time. They were, like they were just what I wanted to be. I guess wanted to emulate, and for better or worse, I guess.
Even though they were the outcast, really.
And that's the thing, like they hit that outcast sort of part of you that like these are all the misfit dudes, and they come together and people like them.
And I think it will come up a couple times as we discuss all three movies. I'll bring it up. Is that I think a reason a lot of people gravitated towards them wasn't just, oh, it's funny, look at them do prank, blah, 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 blah. It was like, especially for like us as kids, it was that sort of friendship group that you also wanted, where everyone was just shit staring everyone. But if you ever saw behind the scenes and stuff, they were always hanging around having fun and, like all that sort of stuff. So.
Except like just like any Jackass photo ever, like if you look at any photo from me from the age of 15 to 12 to like 17 or 18, like every dude was covering their front area, man. Like it was unsafe. It was unsafe at all occasions. Everyone had to at least have mild protection.
Don't want to get a ball smack.
No, you don't. Certainly don't want to.
Ash.
It sounds like your teenage years were not any of that.
No. The older I get, the more I realize I had a very sheltered childhood. It's just a thing that... No, I think I was very much aware that this was a thing, but it was never something that I gravitated towards or had much interest in, but,
Because it blows my mind that it's not that you haven't seen the movies, it's that you haven't seen anything. Like, it was a cultural
I've probably seen
phenomenon.
Stuff. It's just, I know Johnny Knoxville. I've seen Johnny Knoxville in films. I watched The Ringer.
I'm glad you picked the best one.
Yep. Wow. the one that's held up the most. The most...
the one that aged really well.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But yeah.
So, let's get straight to you then, because I feel like it's going to be pretty obvious that me and Ryan enjoyed watching these movies. I don't feel like it should be a spoiler. I'll be highly surprised if I get on here and say that I didn't like any of these movies at this stage, to be honest. So, Ash, first time watching a full Jackass thing, and it's the movie, Jackass the movie. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. This isn't completely my type of humor. I don't like watching awkward situations. Returning a rental car. that's been destroyed in a car derby. And, someone vomiting on their plate in front of a chef, who's just cooked this, you would assume, very expensive sushi. There is some fun stuff, Everybody likes to see other people get hurt to a certain degree, as long as it's not serious. I did expect it to be bigger, I think. Just because it's the movie. Yeah. You expect it to be bigger, but obviously this was done right after, from my reading, right after the TV show got cancelled or whatever. There's a lot there that I go, does this really warrant it being a movie? And especially now where they've inspired a bunch of people to do crazy shit on the internet, like Dylan, but do it more successfully. And a lot of these things I've seen other people do.
Well, so this one, the Jackass the movie, was basically MTV won't let us put this stuff on the TV, so we're going to do it as a movie. And that's why it has it has. Yeah, no, you're right. That's it.
Yeah, sorry. And I think at the time they wouldn't insure them. Like, from memory, the insurance was batshit. Like, because they hadn't had, they were very popular, but they weren't like nth degree popular yet. So, like, I know that no one wanted to be like, if you want to do that, you're going to have to pay like $5 million worth of insurance. And they're like, oh, that's more than the budget of the film. Like, oh, okay, well then, can't do that stunt then. But then after the success of this one, then you will see it extrapolate in 2 and 3 and presumably 4. But yeah, it is an essential of the TV series. Just you're bang on.
I'm very excited to watch. So I think as soon as we're done recording, I may just watch number 2 because I've been pinging since I watched the first one, because I would agree. That's like, not that I think I enjoyed watching this, but I haven't watched this one for a while, and coming off the last one I probably rewatched was 3. And coming back to this, you're like, oh, it really is just like a TV movie. Whereas number 2 and 3 have so much higher budget. Not like there's an actual story or anything. They're all still, just stunts and pranks and whatever else. But the quality of them, the way they're filmed, the way they're produced and set up and everything, you can tell that there's a much higher budget on those. Especially, I mean, they made a fucking full-on 3D movie, which I still stand by as one of the best 3D movies I saw in the cinema. So, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
On the rewatch, how do you feel about it?
Pretty happy with it. Like, once again, it was those things where it was milder than I remember. Once again, that is with the hindsight of like knowing where they end up. Looking back, I'm like, okay, well, this wasn't all that extreme. Pardon me. Saying that though, I did look at it with there was a sense of nostalgia, but in almost like pranks were just better back then, sort of approach, right? Because in this, there's really, especially now when you go on YouTube and you see all these bullshit prank channels and whatnot, which is straight up just assault half the time, where a lot of these, they are based around making people uncomfortable, but it's not like getting up in their business. It's not nicking someone's phone from their hand, or like walking up pretending to mac on with their girlfriend or something bullshit. Like, aside from the actual crew themselves, no one ever gets fucked with outside of the crew. So it's like everyone in the crew is aware of what's going on, but like no one's like offended or assaulted. Like, the most you kind of get is like Preston Lacy falling off a chair and busting his ass open, and then like showing his entire ass crack to some random old guy. Like, yes, that's still a bit bad, but it's not like I find it not as brutal, right? Does that make any sense at all?
It does, because weirdly, I was playing games with Buddy last night, and I was like, I'm doing this pod tomorrow record, and I'm like excited to talk about Jackass. And pretty much what you were just saying is a similar thing to what I was pitching him last night, which is that I was saying how weird it is that I was so heavy into Jackass and, Fruit of Evil, Bam, Wild Boys, and all this sort of stuff. Even like the Dudesons was kind of the end goal there. But I could never get into any of the YouTubers who were obviously inspired by all this stuff, because they always just seemed so much meaner and faker than what this is. And I guess if you're not into it, you don't really get it. But what you're saying is what I would agree with. Like, watching this, my example is going to be the most upfront sort of in someone's face you get is like Party Boy.
Yeah, and like, even then, it's still at a distance. Like, he gets a little bit up in your personal space, but he's not, like, just grabbing your head and jamming it in his front area or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, very mild.
Yeah. And I had a friend that would do that in public, by the way. He was the party boy of our group, so I used to keep the song on my phone and just play it, and he'd fucking go for it. So, yeah, I think that's the most, but yeah, if I compare that to a lot of, like, you know that real famous one, like Roman Atwood or whatever, like the most famous, like, sort of popular YouTuber dude. Like, one of his pranks was he did that one, got millions of views, where his wife comes home and he, like, throws a doll of his kid off the balcony and pretends he's killed their son or whatever. I'm like, I just don't find that funny.
That's not a prank. Like, that's fucked. That's trauma.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't, it doesn't hit the same funny bone. So if you want to compare, like, the public pranks, it's like, yeah, the one Ash is saying, they do take that dude's, they rent that car, they fuck it up. But you know, as soon as the cameras are off and all that, they all go back, they'll go, we just filmed this, blah, 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 and they pay for the fucking car.
Well, you know,
like, at the end of the day,
they'd have to have gotten them to sign a release to show their face.
Because they're, yes, so you know, they would have, I imagine the second they went back and went, look, here's a fuck ton of money, here's more money, thank you so much for being cool.
They would have paid for the car. It's like, what, at the end of the day, what's the damages, really? It's fine. Like, it's just not, it's funny in the moment. Yes, it's awkward to watch and all that stuff, but that's certainly the point. But I really don't think there's any pranks in here that are like just straight up mean to people, other than like themselves, which is totally fine. But, and the 2 and 3 have really mean pranks. Like, I don't want to spoil them for Ash, but they have some really mean pranks, but they're to each other. Yeah. Or Bam's doing them to his mum and dad or something, you know, like, who are,
everyone that is being paid and like, it's all consensual, right? Like, they know what they're getting into. Like, it's that big difference. And that's why I like, kind of, you know, we're talking about other things, but that's why I like the Dudesons as well. Because everything the Dudesons did took place on their ranch. Right? Yeah. So, like, it was all self-contained in their one space in Finland. Where here, 9 times out of 10, half of these are done in a hotel room, or they're done on a planned bit, like a set, you know what I mean? Because once the notoriety kicked in, they couldn't go out and like, hence why the whole old man gimmick came in.
Yeah, and even if you follow through to what is technically the latest Jackass film, which is the Old Grandpa, whatever the hell it's called.
Bad Grandpa?
Bad Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa, that's it. Yeah, and that's like Jackass Presents or whatever. Like, it's not actually a Jackass movie, but it's kind of the same people or whatever in Knoxville and stuff. All of the stuff in that, which is in public and they filming these scenes, again, is cringy to watch, so Ash probably wouldn't like it, and whatever else. But none of that, again, is mean to people. Like, and did you watch, so the most recent thing that has this sort of humor is that one that's like, what was that called? Netflix with Eric Andre, fuck, I can't remember the name of the movie now. That came out like a month ago. Bad Trip, right? So that's got like Jeff Tremaine as a producer, like, and all these bunch of people, and Eric Andre is going to be in Jackass Forever. Like, you can tell his sort of pranking humor and stuff was obviously inspired by the Jackass group, and you could always see that on his Adult Swim show that started like 6 to 10 years after Jackass finished or something like that. And his stuff is very similar. Like, it is, people are getting freaked out or you know, whatever, but none of it, again, feels mean. I feel like there's just a box for what works. And sometimes they push the box, but it never breaks the measure. Like, they shit in a dude's fucking toilet in a thing here, right? I guess that's one where you could be like, that's fucked up. I guess that's the most fucked up one, but you have no idea what goes on afterwards. I don't know.
And we also don't know whether the dude's in on it too. Like, there are some. There's an example when they do the jousting into the store on the BMX. Like, the dude that's owner is clearly in on it. Like, the way he looks directly at the camera, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are obviously there is that veil of filmmaking, right, that comes over it.
Yeah, it's like, well, there's usually someone in on this sort of stuff. It's always like, you know, have you ever watched Impractical Jokers?
Oh, of course, I love Impractical Jokers. Yeah,
yeah, and I guess that's a similar, and they were obviously inspired by. Well, they have talked about how, or at least a couple of them talked about how they love Jackass and stuff like that. And again, there's always one person. They're literally working in shops. the manager signed off, someone signed off, you know, like they're not just in there pretending to like work at a grocery store or whatever and don't have permission to do this. So yeah. That's the thin veil, but a lot of this prank stuff that's happened since then, nasty, mean, or at worst, it's all fake. And I don't know how people enjoy watching that. It's like, it's all just actors and they're pretending it's a prank. What's fun about that? I don't get it. Like, it's not at all fun. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, Dudes was the last one. And I remember, did you ever watch the Dirty Sanchez movie?
Oh, I love the Dirty Sanchez guys too. Like,
really? So that was like a line.
I would look at them like there is a spectrum of stunts, right? There's the Dudesons who I would consider the most innocent, but like still fun, but you know they weren't gross. Then there was Jackass that kind of straddled this middle between like friendly, once again not mean, just kind of dicking about with themselves, and then pushing that gross out line. And then the Dirty Sanchez with the next one up. Like, I saw them at Soundwave here in Australia. Like, the Dudesons and Dirty Sanchez. They were supposed to do a tour back in, like, 2011-ish, 10, 11. But the insurance company pulled out.
Wow.
So then they bounced off the back of Soundwave, which is the heavy music festival. Previously, it was in Australia. So they would just close the night in every state. On one particular, and like it was just as gnarly in person. It was very cool. But like, yeah, they are like the nth degree. Like they are the next one up.
Yeah, so I remember watching that and being like, I think this is probably hitting the line, because there's that one part in there where he gets fucking, was it? I think there's a lot of disgusting things, but for one reason, I don't know why, liposuction
without
and then having someone drink it. That hit a nerve for me. Not to mention that dude gets someone's name tattooed on his dick at some stage in that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that hurts watching that. You know, like that's fucked up.
But I think the point we're getting at is like it's less mean-spirited.
Yeah. They were still just hurting themselves at the end of the day.
And like, yes, you're fucking with your friends, but like, you know, a big part of friends, especially when you're a group of dudes, is that, you know, like ribbing on each other and stuff. And like these guys take it to that next level. Like if I was to clip a lot of my friends' heads, I don't see it going well, but like, you know, it is that adolescent energy. And
if you watch any of the behind the scenes stuff, it's just, they all know if you're filming the Jackass movie, it's just, you've got to be aware. Like there's, if you think you're fine and you're having lunch, and you're filming a Jackass movie? No. Or you're filming an episode of Wild Boys, or, you know, anything is like, if you're on set, you're on set. Yeah. Like you just sort of open to be fucked with. So
did you get that same energy, Ash, about the not the mean spirited feel? Or
oh yeah, definitely.
Or are we just because we know what's coming forward?
No, there was very little that felt mean spirited, or like the person who was getting punished wasn't kind of in on the joke. Except maybe some of the hair clippings, but that was about it.
Well, they get
some
annoyed,
of them were not
like
happy
you would,
about that.
But
yeah.
But I mean, I love how they even like Matt Hoffman's hanging around. It's like, nah, dude, world champion BMX rider. You better be careful.
Brad Pitt was one of those street pandas.
Yeah. I love one of the funniest things as a side note for Jackass in general to me, and I still love this as a thing, which is that Spike Jonze, you know, has been involved with Jackass and Big Brother magazine, prior to Jackass and everything, since the beginning. And now people know him as the Academy Award writer director of Her, and Where the Wild Things Are, and all these other, you know, really in-depth movies. It's like, oh, what else did he do? Oh, he's part of the Jackass group.
Oh, yeah, just like an old man and flung down a hill in an electric scooter.
He's the one in this. He's the one in this movie. Actually, you know, the old person who like goes a million miles down a hill. It's like, help me! That's Spike Jonze. So good.
He's got an eclectic career.
He has a great career. Yeah, it's funny. He started because in case Jackass, basically, quick rundown history, I guess. It all started at Big Brother magazine, which was like a skateboard magazine. Johnny Knoxville starts doing these, like, the most famous video was one where he did like a taser test and pepper spray test and all this sort of stuff. And that sort of inspired what would become Jackass. And meanwhile, across the other side of the country, there's a kid named Margera putting out a video called CKY, which is his own thing. And then you've got the rest of them were sort of starting to do. It's like a weird thing where a bunch of people around America at the same time are like, you know what, recording ourselves, hurting ourselves seems like a fun idea. And then someone, that person happened to be Jeff Tremaine, goes, all right, all of yous come together, off we go. You know, like Steve-O's trying to be a clown and says, nah, fuck that shit. And then goes, I'll just go do stunts because I like lighting myself on fire and all this other stuff. It was a movie that came out a couple years ago. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I'm hoping one day it'll just randomly show up on Stan or something. But there was a movie came out like 2017, 2018 called something rather the history of Big Brother magazine or something.
Oh, okay.
It's a documentary. I still haven't managed to find it anywhere to watch.
The story of Big Brother magazine.
Mad.
There you go. So that's one I still haven't managed to find or watch, but that's definitely part of the Jackass history that I need to watch. All right, on to the quality content within this movie. There is a lot of stunts. There's 55 in total. I'm going to just read off, and we're just going to stop at the ones that people like the most or point out. I'd like if everyone can sort of, let's say you've got like a top 3, top 5 or something in your head that you want to point out, or the ones that made you at least laugh out loud or something like that. Or even if they made you cringe horribly. I don't know. And the ones that got a reaction of some sort out of you. So the movie starts with the movie starts with the opening. Classic opening, of course. I never forget the first time I saw that. It was at a friend's place. The car coming down the hill, explosions going off, the slow motion, that music, which I'll always associate with Jackass, even though it shows up in other movies, all that sort of stuff, the names, title cards, it's so good. First actual stunt, rent-a-car crash-up derby, which Ash mentioned before. Joey Knoxville rents his car, takes it to a destruction derby. It's actually quite smart when you think about it.
So
like
simple.
The whole... So it's so good though. Just put the dolls in the back, and the way he just slowly walks out and grabs them out of the car and just starts like walking across the road to the other side. And that dude, he's just like, dude runs out, just like obviously being like, "Fuck you."
I kind of, because they, when they return to the place and they talk to the guy and he's like, "Oh, you opted out of the extra insurance." I kind of wish they didn't. Like they paid for the comprehensive. Like it's insured, dude. What are you gonna do? And then still paid them out, obviously. But I mean, like, I love you. Like, hey, we got full comp, didn't we not? Like, you got to fix this.
It's got a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
It's full tank of gas. I like how he keeps like pressuring on that point. So then you got skateboarding, which is just a quick skit where Bam and Ryan Dunn just ran into a bowling ring and
once again, beautifully simple.
Balls thrown at them.
Yes, it's interacting with the public, but it's just obviously cleared by the bowling alley. They run in and people are trying to bowl and they just fang down the lane on skateboards.
I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't, because a lot of this stuff just feels like CKY-esque stuff that Bam would just run around Pennsylvania filming, and none of that was cleared. No. None of the CKY stuff was cleared. So like that was just him running around fucking doing it. So then we go to the Muscle Stimulator. So this was one that me and my friends were obsessed with when we were teenagers, and we really wanted to find a way to be able to do this or do something similar to it. Did you actually have one?
My mum was a massage therapist, so she had one.
Oh shit!
And like, funny or not, once I saw this with my mum, because she was interested in whatever else, she's like, "This is once again," because she knew it wasn't mean spirited. She was kind of happy with it. She's like, "As long as you don't do it," I'm like, "Yeah, no worries, mum." And I was like, but the mum's like. She goes, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I want to try it." So sure enough, it sucks. It straight sucks. But what I love about this specifically is like I know a lot of the stunts and stuff, a lot of the skits you sort of see, a lot of them happen relatively organically. Where there are the big ones that they have planned, but there are some that they just do while they're waiting for something. And I believe
this is them in a hotel room while drinking.
Yeah, and this is one of them, I believe. Like, there's one in 2 where it's like super glue. Like, that was done while they were waiting for something else. And this is the same as the paperclip one. The paper cut one. We'll get to a little bit later. But this just feels like someone had it, and they're like, what if we do this? And it does have that, like, even in the structure of the skit itself, you see that sort of organic escalation, right? Like, what if we do this now? What if we do this? What if we do that? Hey, what are you doing over there? Come over here and give this a bell. Like, it's... And it's that good energy of just like friends, having.
I just want to know who brought it in. I was like, hey, this seems like fun. I got this. Yeah. Me and my friends used to try, those shock toys where you'd each hold like one of the things and eventually it would zap you. It was like, someone had one of those. We're like, oh, see if that works. And you just like hold it places and be like, see if it would zap you. That's the best we could get, but none of the muscle simulators.
I didn't fall down. I can confirm I didn't put it on my gooch though, but
no, I don't know if
wouldn't go that far.
Probably for the better. Probably for the best, to be honest. Fatty fall down, Preston Lacy, classic. This is simple prank, simple but effective. See, that's the thing. Like Johnny Knoxville loves, and you see it in the other movies. He loves like Buster Keaton and all these.
Tom and Jerry was big inspiration. Yeah.
Tom and Jerry and all this sort of stuff. Like he loves all of that stuff. Yeah, and you'll notice that more in Jackass 2 and 3, where he does a lot, some of the bigger openings and ending stunt things that they do. Especially one of the main ones that Johnny recreates. Like, and some of this simpler stuff is just 100%. He's like, let's just do a Looney Tunes type, or any of that sort of like simple cartoon.
Even the end of this movie was supposed to be a big Looney Tunes-esque thing. It just didn't pan out.
And it didn't make it, yeah. So that's worth pointing out. The end of the movie is kind of a letdown, but you see some of it in the credits, like Wee Man going down the slide thing with the bowling balls chasing him and stuff. They had this like big.
We'll get to it at the end. We've got like 57 other stunts to get
through. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We'll get there.
I think they redid it for the 1.5 or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Golf cart antics. So they've done this in CKY to a degree, but this is
loved it.
How did he not die?
One of my dreams is to fang around in a golf cart like this. And see, but this is the other thing. I believe this shows that lack of mean spirit that you talked about, Dylan. Like the second that stunt kind of went bad, everyone was like, fuck. And they were in and they were like, checking on him and make sure it was all right. And that's, if it was mean spirited, like if it was any YouTuber, they'd be like, ha 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 ha, and they would just hold the camera there and completely disregard.
Like film a dead body in a Japanese forest?
Yeah, straight up.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, with the seconds like, nah, camera's down, let's go. Let's make sure he's all right.
Yeah. He gets fucked up.
He gets fucked
up. He gets absolutely fucked up. It's funny.
Because you shook your head like instantly at this one, Ash. Did this one sit with you?
No, it was good. Yeah, but, you're so close. Like, to death.
I mean...
It was a brutal.
Strap in.
Brutal.
Strap in. Johnny Knoxville has some bad luck in these movies, I swear. Out of anyone. Party Boy Japan. Of course, that's the first Party. So Party Boy was in the TV show, and it's just like the character. Yeah, character that's sort of carried over. We'll just walk up and be like, "Hey, blah 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 blah." I know what I want. I feel like it's like always it's a very simple gag. Board break. Wee Man attempts to break a wooden plank with his forehead.
Bonk.
Commitment. Fucking commitment. Alligator nipple bite. No, thank you. Alligator tightrope. I love how Steve-O at the end of this clip, they ask him like, Steve-O, why can't you walk on the tightrope? Because it's all based on the joke that he was a clown and did like clown training for like a year or whatever. I like how he's like, I don't know, dude, like you give me like a week or a month, I'll fucking learn. But someone just asked him today. He's like, I don't know. Meanwhile, he can like balance on like those bowls and stilts and all that sort of stuff.
Anything
like he can
on his
do
nose,
it.
he can balance almost anything on his nose, on his chin. Sorry.
Yeah, like he's got legit skills for that stuff. But walking on a tightrope, no, doesn't have that. Fireworks wake up, classic Bam Margera skit in this movie. Very much Viva La Bam, what's to come Viva La Bam style. What do you think about this one, Ash?
Good setup for the eventual payoff of setting it off in the car.
Yeah.
He thinks he's escaped. There was a long running joke. Yeah. Well, the thing is, his parents could never get shitty because
they got paid well.
They got paid well, yeah. Like they're looked after, so it's fine. Shoplifter. They dress up, old man attempts to steal stuff. I love Joe Knoxville's commitment to this, where he's just getting pushed out the store and he just keeps fucking taking shit. And that dude is just like, "What are you doing?"
Once again, innocent. Like he didn't try to fight the dude. He was just like, "All right," and then kept stealing.
And at the end, he goes for that fucking beaver or whatever.
It's a giant like Italian man statue.
Yeah. What an old person would actually need that for or do with it when they got home, but I have no idea. It's funny actually looking back at this and all the old people stuff, and then thinking that comes all the way through to him having to do that more because he can't go out in public, and then that's why he had to do the bad grandpa thing. Hardware store crap. So Ash,
no,
was this one of the bad ones?
Yeah. See, this is why I'm worried about going to see this Jackass Forever in the movie theater. Because at least on Netflix, I could like skip past him defecating in the car, and then
the shitting in the car was the uncomfortable part of all of that. But like, what I love. The thing that gave me, this is when I first got the giggles again, is when it was like, is this the worst you've ever had to go? He's like, no, once I shit myself at the fair, hard cut. Like, I'm just like, that's not enough information. But it sounded traumatic. Like,
I just love how, so it's a running joke, and it comes through like everything through to like all the spin-offs of Jackass and all the other shows, whatever. Caustic always has like this, like is always just throwing up or whatever. That's why you see even later. Is it Caustic? I thought it was.
It's Vince Incognito. No, it's not. Caustic was the guy holding the gong later on. That's somebody else.
Yeah. One of the cameramen. He always has this thing of spewing. But I love how they just have all the footage where he's just trying to hold it, and everyone's obviously just always trying to make him spew and whatever else. Fucking love that shit. Yeah, I mean, look, I already had to giggle several times here, and I gotta be honest, I was giggling at him taking a shit. I don't know.
Lance Bangs, that's his name. Lance.
That's it. There we go. Lance Bangs. Yeah.
Got there.
He always fucking chucks in all this shit. It's great. Clipper cam. Yeah. Matt Hoffman cops it. Everyone else cops it. It's fun. Again, that's just them fucking around on set. It's not a planned thing. Bungee Wedgie. First time Brad himself shows up in the Jackass movie.
Probably like the one I love the most because of its pure simplicity. Like, well, what if we give you a wedgie with a bungee cord from your undies in a tree?
I love how even Jeff Tremaine's like, is it Jeff Tremaine or someone else? Someone's like,
it's not going to work.
This ain't going to work.
And then the first time it just rips apart and he eats shit. But the second time when it works, like watching them all collectively die is exactly why I love Jackass. And like these, like, because when there's a moment that a dumb thing and it pays off, and they're all like deep belly laughing. It's like the only other time that this, I think it's a CKY, might be CKY2, I think, where Rab himself is sleeping, D. Camillo sits on top of him, he gets slapped in the face, and it's woken up to his giant fart in his face, and D. Camillo breaks. And he can't hold his breath in because he's laughing and crying. And that, for me, is what makes this shit so much fun. And this is an example of that. No one got hurt in this. It was simple. It was funny. And watching everyone just, like, collectively lose their shit is just...
See, I thought you was going to say it's either CKY 1 or 2 where Rab's running down. They did that thing where he runs down the highway and he fucking takes laxatives and he just shits himself running down the highway. And then they go back to Bam's house or whatever, and Rab's just walking around with this shitty fucking man string thing, and Bam's mum comes out like, what the fuck? He's like, like, it's fucking horrible time she had to go through of old Bam's kids. By the way, did you see Rab's back for Jackass Forever?
Is he?
Yeah, so he's on camera for some, but he filmed a lot. He just wanted to come on and be part of the crew, be part of the family, and apparently he was like filming a lot of it, just being cameraman. So
I'm sure we'll get to this in
3 probably. If you're talking about Dunn,
but like because this is like I know it's funny you actually say that. I actually got a little emotional because like I know they all kind of went their separate ways after 3, and you've actually made like that's genuinely made me happy. Because I know, like, D. Camillo and stuff kind of doesn't get involved at all anymore. And I know Rab and, like, Bam and stuff kind of...
They had a fight for a long period.
There's bad terms there. But, oh, man. Oh, I'm really excited now. Because the trailer, like, drops real soon while we're recording this, by the way.
So, it drops at 2 a.m. after we record this.
How long can we stretch out this recording?
Yeah. Not long enough. What was up to? Bunch of right control tests. So this is basically a build off of the stuff I was saying before. Big Brother, John Knoxville just wanting to test all these right control type stuff. This thing fucking sucks. I love how they, at first you watch it and you're like, oh, it doesn't seem that bad. And it's like 1 week later, fucking this massive purple bruise. It just looks like it's a baby going to burst out of his stomach or some shit.
It's the when they're like, oh, how brutal can this be? And when it's the thunk in the empty thing, and you see it rip apart the thing, and like, oh.
They had to make the thing because they're like, if we hit you anywhere other than here,
you will die.
Also, if you look up in the trivia or whatever, it says that they couldn't show any of the test shots or something because they reckon if he had missed and he died or something, and they'd shown that one of the test shots he'd missed hitting the target, they could have been liable. Like all this really weird.
Yeah, there's a weird legalities because like you are like genuinely putting someone's life in your hand with that. Like
yeah.
Ooh.
The big cone. Where man hides under a dry plastic road cone and sets off around busy Tokyo streets.
Simplicity.
It's a cartoon again.
Beautiful simplicity. Yeah. Like the second that he just
also shows how nice Japanese people are.
Yeah.
That's what they get. That's how they're getting away with it. You know, anywhere else in the world,
you'll get punched. Yeah. Especially when he blocks the escalator, they're all just like, "We'll go around. We'll go around. We'll go around." Anyone else in America? Someone would have fucking kicked that cone over or pushed it out of the way. Like, there's no way. It's ridiculous. No brakes. So this is the Spike Jonze goes a million miles an hour down a motorized wheelchair. I love how when the dude runs up and finally gets him.
Oh, we missed one. By the way, we missed Mousetraps.
Which one did we miss?
We missed Mousetraps.
Oh, Mousetraps. Fuck yeah, Mousetraps. Sorry. Ehren McGhehey dressed up as a mouse fucking eats Mousetraps literally all over his body, which doesn't seem that bad. I think the worst is when they begin chucking at him and Knoxville lands like that perfect dick mousetrap shot.
Because I think this like one is mostly visual because once they all start going off, like it looks really gnarly. And there's a lot of obviously marks on his body and whatnot, but I think it's not like except for the ones that maybe got his fingers, like they seem pretty tame.
Depends where they get you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had I've had a mousetrap hit me before, and it's like it fucking hurts on the end of your like the side of your fingers, like the loose flesh or whatever. Yeah. So just I think like the fattier flesh on your body probably hurts the least. It just depends where it's.
Come covered then. I got stacks of that shit. I'm good.
Not so much anymore, so sure you're fine. What the fuck? Which one was that? No brakes.
No brakes.
Yeah, I just love how that dude at the end when he saves him and he's like, can you push me back up so I can do it again? His fucking like old man voice as well. Spike Jonze old man voice. It's funny. Ass kicked by a girl. Ryan Dunn fights Japanese female kickboxer Naoko Kamegi. Gets his ass absolutely fucking handed to him.
Because like the novelty is like the back in 2005 it's like, oh, you got your ass kicked by a girl. It's like, yeah, but this woman kicks the actual shit out of people for a living. This is gonna be awesome. Love it. Absolutely loved it.
Doesn't pull any punches, literally, or kicks.
No,
I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
Rundun gets absolutely destroyed. Tropical pole vaulting. Steve-O. This is just a build on. I think they did this even Jackass the show or one of Steve-O's his home video things previously. It's in one of them. He's done this stuff before. Just funny.
Just simple.
Shopping cart attack. Ehren McGhehey gets hit in the side by shopping cart. Thrown by Chris Pontius.
When he's trying to do the urban wakeboarding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Just come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Again, I think it's like this isn't like the original whatever they were trying to do. It wasn't turning out to be as funny, so yeah. Let's just throw something. That'll solve it. Night Pandas, Joe Knoxville, Steve-O, Ryan Dunn, Wee Man, Preston, Lacy, and Loomis all dress up as pandas and go around Tokyo. This isn't even a prank. It's just this is a good time, I feel. Who are they pranking? They're not disturbing anyone. Everyone's having fun with them.
And at the end, when there's all people doing like Tai Chi or whatever in the middle of town, they just jump in. They're like, all right, sure. Like, yeah. So good.
This is like also where they just have the great use of the soundtrack on classic use of the Jackass soundtrack. Rocket skates. Joe Knoxville sets off on roller skates with rockets attached to him. This is the beginning of Joe Knoxville attempting to use rockets to send himself flying. In different directions.
More Tom and Jerry stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Roller disco truck. I love this one.
I love this one.
The first time you watch it, you don't know what's going to happen, and it's funny.
So for context,
it is like
we only run through them. We've explained the best we can, but this one is one of the great, simplest ideas. They essentially get a removalist truck, right? And they deck the back of it out like it's a disco. There's nice little streamers. There's a disco ball. There's pumping lights, and it's they're playing like that's the way. And as Preston Lacy drives around a car park, they're all on roller skates, just getting fucking wrecked in the back, like destroyed in the back. And I love it. From a super. Once again, it's simple, but it's dope. Dope. It's probably up there as one of my favorite of the movie.
I do too. Because you don't know what's going to go wrong at first. Because they're just getting in the truck and you're like, oh, what's the deal?
And the way that Bam eats the back of it, like as he does the hard break, like the no arms just
commitment,
So good.
Wasabi snooters. Steve-O snorts wasabi and then throws up a lot. Not your favorite, Ash?
No. No bodily functions, please. Poor chef, right there.
I mean,
did you ever go down that path, Dylan? Did you ever snort weird shit?
I snorted a lot of weird shit. I haven't snorted wasabi.
Yeah, no, with wasabi I drew the line, but
no.
What's the weirdest thing?
I've snorted weird shit and thrown up, but not off wasabi. It was usually like lollies or like stuff that people had, different sorts of stuff that you could try and do. I remember we chopped up a fucking I fucking can't remember the lolly name. Like a hard lolly, and we chopped it up finely, so it's sort of like crystallized, like not super fine, but it was like sort of crystallized parts. I snorted that, and it gave me a blood nose. So it's probably not the smartest idea. So
Whiz Fizz is the best,
and
one.
lots of sherbet.
Yeah,
lots of sherbet
and Whiz Fizz the best because it starts like frothing up out of your schnoz. My big party trick was the tequila.
I was just shaking his head.
The tequila suicides were the one that I would always get most effective at parties.
What's that?
That's when you sniff the salt, you shot the tequila, and you put the lemon in your eye. That was my go-to.
Oh.
And then of course my friends were assholes, so we would add to it, and then you get kicked in the shin, so then you'd start hobbling around like a pirate with one eye shut, and you just
have not done. I haven't even heard of that.
No, that's a good party trick because it sucks for like a small window of time, and then it's just effective. I wouldn't do it now though. Shit no, but
yeah, there's plenty I've done that I would not do. I'm too old now. It's fine. Oddly shaped sumo wrestlers. Wee Man gets chased by Preston Lacy in sumo suits down the street. Again, it's fucking a cartoon skit, literally. And they continue this whole Preston Lacy Wee Man thing where small man. I want to spoil one of my favorites, but it involves a toilet. I think it's the next movie. It's so good. It's just like simple comedy, but it works so well. The Gong, Joe Knoxville and Rick Kozik sneak up behind unsuspecting members of the Japanese public with a giant gong. Got him. Sick of the fan, Steve-O jumps on a mini trampoline and destroys a ceiling fan. So this becomes like a Steve-O staple in a lot of his stuff as well, where he would just destroy hotel fucking ceiling fans.
So it turns out, he lived in this apartment building where he owned 4 separate apartments in that one building.
Yeah, where he built a skate park in one of them.
Yeah, and then he would just destroy them.
Yeah,
like this was.
But he brought them, so
yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
This is I'll point this out now, Ash, so we can see. Even though you got 2 movies, so Jackass 1 to 2, Steve-O's on a lot of drugs, and that's why he's pretty happy to do what he was. In case that isn't evident, he's like the drug user of the crew. Jackass 3, he sobers up, and you can fucking tell because when they're like Steve-O do this, he's like, fuck. Like it is, he does not have the drugs of keeping the fear out anymore. Like,
but he still commits. I think he goes a little harder in 3. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got it, but you can tell he has that. He has the butterflies that the drugs were getting rid of. April's alligator. So Bam wants to make his mum swear. So to do that, he puts an alligator in a house.
Great
and it
reaction.
Works. So
yeah.
I love how at first she's like, "Is this thing real?" Because who knows? It could have been fake. You know,
it was lying very still.
Wasn't moving.
It's true. It was lying very still. The funniest thing I also find is I completely forgot until rewatching this that Manny Pugh, or however you say his name, I forgot he was involved with them all the way back to the first movie because I thought that he only joined them when they were filming Wild Boys and stuff like that because obviously he's a main cast member in Wild Boys, the dude who like is always around when they're talking about animals and stuff. But he's a legit Yeah, animal. Like, he's not fake animal. They're not bullshitting. He's a legit animal expert or whatever. But he just becomes part of the Jackass crew and the Wild Boys crew and whatever else. Wee Clippers. Wee Man gets his head shaved. He doesn't like it, though. He gets quite annoyed at first. So, but then goes back for more. So I love the commitment. The Handrail. Johnny Knoxville attempts to grind along rail. Eric Costin and Clyde Singleton appear in cameo roles. I love how much they laugh when he eats shit, and like Eric Singleton is just like losing his shit. He's like, he made it all the way to the bottom. He's like, I didn't think he would make it that far. So fucking funny.
How did he not need a hip reconstruction after that?
How did he not break his wrist? Like, he lands on his wrist.
His whole body just goes like, rope. It's fucking great. It's so good. Jacuzzi. Preston and Lacy has a relaxing time in the hot tub.
Once again, just Preston and Lacy's weird ass.
Yeah. I think that's just... I don't even know if this is a skit and someone just recorded him outside the hotel, to be honest, but... the paper cuts, which we mentioned before.
This is the one that I know that it hurts the most people because it's a tough one. It's the gross out for many people, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah. Is it? Paper cuts kind of fuck with people.
Because people know what a paper cut feels like.
Did it fuck with you, Ash?
Yeah, it was like, no. After the first couple, I'm like, no, I'm good.
How much of this movie did you watch, and how much did you fast forward?
Most of it. Yeah. The vast majority of it. You know?
No, I like this. I've done my in between the hand. I wouldn't do the mouth.
What is wrong with you?
I wouldn't do the cuts. No, the cuts weren't me.
I did it. I was the only person, my friends, that did it, and I'd done it on my hands because we were in like one of the spare like dance rooms or something in high school, and we found like one of those manila folders. I was like, "Fuck, do it," and I did it, and it fucking sucked. And the worst part is, it takes like a couple weeks for it to, to heal over. So like for the first like 48 hours, it sucks the hardest, and then like starts to heal slightly, but then you forget about it and you move your hand wrong, and next second it's like
open again.
Cut.
Yep.
And then
so that one sucks.
You don't realize you got like oily or like stuff that'll make your hand sting and shit.
You're like, oh, salt and vinegar. Yeah. Ah!
No salt and vinegar chips at school, please, Mum. Sorry, I paper cutted my hand. I
don't have time to explain.
I mean, in that exact same room, actually, I did one. So we found, I don't know who or why there. It was like off a saw. It was like a saw blade that a builder had left in this like spare school room or whatever, and it was like sort of dulled. So I assume they'd taken it out and put like a new one in, and it was sort of dulled. Anyway, it was like my friends in there, and there's like some other girls or whatever. And I got one of them to like throw it like a frisbee at my fucking ass. Like I just pulled my hand, so I was like, fucking throw it at my ass and let's see what it done. Anyway, it cut me up way more than I thought it would, and I had to go to this was like one of those awkward times where I had to go to the school doctor or whatever and walk in and legit be like, can I have like something, like my ass is bleeding? And she was like, what? I had to be like I need like, because I couldn't remember what's going on. I'm like, I need like that powder stuff, or I need like something to like, it's hurting. And I had to like be like, here.
Gashed up ass cheek.
Yeah. And it fucking that hurt for weeks.
How did you explain that one? How did you get around? You said, look, I tripped and cut my ass open.
Yep. Oh no, she asked, and I legit just told her, and she told the teacher or whatever, and I got like detention for it. But I mean, what are they going to do?
Good point. What are they going to do? Like, just your ass
what are they going to do?
Yeah, it's kind of punishment, dude.
It's like, there's your punishment. Exactly. It's like I got like one detention for like, I don't know, attempting to hurt school property or being a fuckwit. I don't know. Like
the standard being a fuckwit detention. We've all been there. Ash?
It's fine.
No.
Did you ever have a detention, Ash?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
Like, not doing stuff that's more like...
Sitting in the back? Doing what?
You know,
he did his English work in his maths class. Oh, rebel.
Oh, not doing homework. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
I always imagine you were a very well-behaved student, Ash. You seem like...
Most for the most
part.
I was expecting a complete no. Based on this conversation, I think so.
I just wanted social acceptance. That was my whole reason.
I just had bad influences, which is why we're talking about them now. So.
and undiagnosed ADHD. That's pretty much where I'm at. Like in hindsight, now that I'm going down that path, I look back and I go, "Huh, I didn't know." Apparently, cool.
I mean,
I can say so. My mum 100% took us to to doctor once, and I'm pretty sure that the doctor and I think this is like an age or a generational thing. I'm pretty sure the doctor said I had like some form of ADHD or something, and she was like, "No,
see,
no way."
I have one of my teachers say, like, "I think you have ADHD." I'm like, "I just don't like your class," and that's about as much thought as I put into it. Now I'm 32, like fucking struggling to pay attention and read properly. I'm like, huh, rad.
Like, I can pay attention to some things. If they're not boring,
like your class just sucks.
Yeah. Fortune teller party boy again gets his fortune told. Then we got sweaty fat fucks Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman, Joan Bam in suits. Here's a question for you, Ash. You know, like, would you? I know you've obviously would have undergrounded Bam and Tony Hawk's always involved, but does it surprise you that Tony Hawk's like, because he always comes across as like a dad skater, if that makes sense. Like he's not one to hang with the more like Bam type dudes or whatever. Yeah. Does it come across? Did you ever get that feeling or?
No, I thought it made sense. Obviously, Jackass was a big thing, and all he had to do was skateboard. So it doesn't seem like a crazy.
That's true. He never really got in the stunts, aside from this one where he just got wrapped in bubble wrap and put big 9XL pants on.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But I mean, he has a few other cameos, I think, right?
Yeah, he rocks up a ton of times. Like he rocks up in Haggard as well, I think, as well. He plays.
Yeah, he has a cameo in Haggard. Yeah.
I think because of that skate community, I think and then of course that fueled Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Yeah, and everyone's playing that for Bam, not him. So let's be honest. At that time, Bam was way more popular than Tony Hawk.
Big time.
Grandpa workout, Joe Knoxville in old man suit, falls over attempting to lift weights. I love that one dude. It's like, "Do you need a spot, man? Let me know if you need a spot." And as soon as he walks away, he fucking just drops it.
See, but once again, that's the kindness, right? The guy's like, this dude, I love it.
And then him lifting the weights up with like one hand and like
no effort there's no weights on it. It's just a bar, isn't it? There's like no weights on it.
It's the
just
bar
like
weight. So at best, it's like 25 kilos.
Yeah.
At absolute best.
It's like, "Oh, you can do it, honey. You can do it." Department store boxing. Butterbean knocks Joe Knoxville the fuck out. I love just the sound effect of him when he's knocked out. You just hear that.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, you are out, dude. Like,
he's like, "You are gone." I love how he wakes up. His first response is Butterbean okay? The commitment to the beat. Yeah, Butterbean has this. This is like the start. It's like between this and the fucking WWE fiasco. It's like making a career of just knocking out people who shouldn't be boxing. Who shouldn't be involved with boxing. But yeah, it's funny. He just goes to like he doesn't pull any punches.
He's like, ready to go.
It's like not fucking around.
There was no button masher. That's what he is.
Yeah, but there was no fear of like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt you," or no. I'm sure Knoxville would have been like,
"Yeah, don't hold back.
Just fucking do it. Like, just fucking hit me." It's funny. It works. Sir Marcius. That's the one we're talking about. Brandon DiCamillo rides bicycle into a convenience store, slamming into Bam Margera. So this is like they did this in CKY 1. They did a lot of the parking lot. A lot of the stuff in this movie is either like Jackass 1 stuff or CKY Volume 1, 2 like sort of stuff like rehashed or whatever. But yeah, they did a lot of this stuff in the trolleys and their bikes and stuff in the first CKY. I think Bam's only like 18 when CKY 1 comes out, like 19 or something. So it's like super, yeah.
Well, because what was it? I think it was. I saw some CKY stuff recently, and you just look how because Rab himself is at least like 3-4 years younger than the rest of them, and
he's like a kid,
like young. Like watching him when he bungee wedgie, I'm like, dude, like everyone else is in their early 20s. I'm like, you're like 17. Like he's 18, I think, but it's like, dude, you're so much younger.
Yeah, and Joey Knoxville's like nearly 30.
Yeah.
He's like 27, 28 or something like that when they start doing the first one. Fish Tank. So this is like the start, I guess, of Wild Boys.
Fish Wank.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Fish Wank. Sorry. Yes, Fish Wank. Steve and Chris Pontius attempt to simulate masturbation after being told that sea cucumbers release white threads when startled. Yeah. So this is start of Wild Boys, and then they go into the whale shark gummer where Steve and Chris Pontius fill their swimming trunks with shrimp and go have whale sharks eat off their junk. I don't know how you think of this stuff, to be honest, but it's a bit.
And I think it was the first exposed penis in Jackass history, and it won't happen again. Sorry, will happen again numerous times.
I was going to say will happen again.
There's a lot more dick as the series progresses, so, you know. Warning, Ash, I guess.
Okay.
It's just fucking full frontal male nudity. Up in your business.
Strap in. Tidal wave. Joey Knoxville.
Sure.
Joey Knoxville gets knocked the fuck over by a huge man-made wave. Again, I swear this is like a Looney Tunes thing.
It just goes missing.
Back tattoo. Steve-O shows off his back tattoo. Yeah, dude. It's like the dumbest fucking tattoo in history, I think.
Would you get that, Ash? Would you get a big back tattoo that just says
no?
Thing? You know, like
no.
Have you seen that before? His back tattoo? Or no?
I don't think so. But it also didn't surprise me.
It's like one of his most famous things, I think, like Steve-O with that fucking back tattoo.
That's an expensive tattoo and a lot of time on a chair. Yeah. And like you have to be super okay with how shitty that's going to be.
Yep. And he got this when he was poor.
Well, that's
because they were getting paid nothing when they were doing the Jackass movie. The TV series, sorry. They were getting paid nothing, which is one of the reasons that a lot of them were like, I don't really want to do this anymore because we're not actually getting paid much. They got paid more for the movie, obviously. And then they all did their spin-off stuff after this. And then by the time they get around to Jackass 2, they're fucking stars then. But around this period, a lot of them were not living well at all. It's quite funny when you think about it. Well, sad. I don't know. The merry-go-round. Aaron McGhehey is placed on a merry-go-round, which is connected to a car motor. He gets fucked up. I've seen a clip of some kids do this online, but way faster, actually. There's a clip online, like a fail clip or something, in Russia. They're on a bunch of these things, and they put the bike like a motorbike.
Yeah, I've seen the same clip.
And they and they like fucking rev the fuck out of it, and it just goes so fast until this kid like starts leaning back, and then he just goes. He just gets, he just fucking flies backwards. I think he died. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't.
Probably.
Grandpa fall asleep. Spike Jones in old man suit attempts to be asleep in traffic. Yellow snow cone.
Simplicity. Simple, gross out, good shit. Like, how often do you just hear, like, don't eat the yellow snow? And he's like, well, I'm going to eat yellow snow. Yeah. You know, but, like, it's simple. It's, like, this is good, simple prank. It's not even a prank. It's a fucking bit. You know, man? It's just beautiful. But also...
And I don't think it was planned either, because they're just at a house, and I'm pretty sure someone's like, lol, what if you, like, pissed on a snow cone and then ate it? All right, grab the camera. You know, like...
It's clearly in someone's backyard, yeah.
Yeah. Not a fan of this one, Ash?
No.
Do you fast forward it or watch it?
I watched the start of it, but then once you started going to town on it, I was like... he looked way too enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. You got to commit. Like, if you're doing it, you got to... There's no point...
You haven't even seen Aaron McGhehey commit yet. You wait to fucking number 2, brother. Like, he commits.
Yeah. Don't mess with Danger Ehren, you know? Like...
Also, you missed some again.
Did I?
Yeah. So it was Arse Rockets, Steve-O and Chris Pontius developed new ways of launching fireworks.
Oh, that's right.
And BMX
Tokyo.
Tug of War. Ryan Dunn's BMX is anchored to Preston Lacy by a bungee rope. He goes off and lands in a cactus.
He lands in a cactus.
But I love he's like, I'm surrounded by cacti. Someone's like, it's cactus. It's like, no, it's cacti. Now's not the time for grammatical corrections.
While I'm in pain, fucking, yeah, all these things in me. Just corrected me now. Yeah, that, the Tokyo fireworks thing, every time I watch it, I just go, is there fireworks permits in Japan? Like, was someone calling them being like, there's gunshots going off? I'm just like, is it loud enough there that no one noticed? Like, what is the go for that one? I don't know. And I'm 100%, I'm also just convinced that, Pontius just was a bit too into that segment, if you know what I'm saying. Getting his dick pulled by fireworks. I think that did something for him.
Because it happened. It happens. There's more dick pulling by other instruments.
Yeah. Wee kick. Wee man kicks himself in the head. I think that's a skill, to be honest. I think that's a skill. Bathroom beating. Bam beats up Phil while he's taking a shit.
Like,
why?
Shaking head,
why?
Classic CKY, brother.
What was the point?
For the lols. Because he can do it to his dad, and it's not mean because you're like, it's his family. He's fine. Man. Like, he'll be okay with it at the end of the day. You know, like, you can't do that to a random person. Then it's assault.
Well, it's still technically assault.
I mean, technically assault, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Just lock your doors.
No,
because
he knows he gets paid. The next one's probably, I think, the most famous skit from this, other than the ending one, probably, which is Golf Course Air Horn.
Beautiful.
Where Knoxville, Ehren, and Dave hide in trees and just fuck with people who are taking golf way too serious.
The whitest people possible.
I love it.
Beautiful.
It's so good. I think this is my favorite skit from it because it's just so simple. It is literally just air horns as people are about to swing their golf clubs. But the fact that they get the reactions out of those two dudes that they get just makes it perfect.
At the end, it's like, what are you doing? He's like, I have tinnitus. You have tinnitus. Yeah.
He's like, that makes you need to stand in a tree and ring an air horn? He's like, yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It's fucking dumb. I love it. Knoxville's pretty, like, on his toes for some of these.
Good
like,
improv,
improv and stuff like that. It's good. Mountain lion slap. Chris Pontius in a koala suit gets slapped in the face by a mountain lion. Again, I feel like this is early Wild Boys Day stuff, but I mean, it protects you, right? It's like a thick costume. I love how he's just laughing too as it slaps him. You just hear that Pontius like fucking laugh under the suit. It's great. The burglars, Knoxville and Bam attempt to pull off a burglary of a diamond company, and that one dude just fucking legs it completely.
Like, white dude's falling from stealing. White dude's falling from stealing. I'm out of here. He's like,
he's fucking gone. He's in the next state.
I didn't even like stop to look. He just heard boom, crash, turned around, legged it.
Yeah,
it could have been anything. Someone could have shut the fridge a little bit too hard, and he would have legged it. Like, he was ready. He was loaded.
This is the one time in this whole movie where they show the aftermath of them explaining to people what was going on, and they have that clip of him bring it back in. You hear him be like, "Oh man, you ran out of there, like, like you were gone." Someone got sent to get him and was like, "Can you find that dude? Like, where did he go?"
I mean, how lucky was it they had the footage from outside? Like,
I guess they were.
They don't know.
I guess they were expecting him to come outside.
Yeah, because Knoxville and Bam run out, so they wanted to, I guess, in case people chase them or...
Yeah.
Like, never know. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, obviously they had someone in on this one because they were able to get in on the roof.
And there was a whole rig set up as well, so...
Yeah, and a whole rig set up. So there was someone in that was working there, obviously, for this one.
It was an inside job.
Not that dude. Not that dude who legged it. He was not in on it. He was not in on it at all. Fun great, though.
Oh.
But X-Ray. Yeah, so this is, I feel this was the most infamous skit for, like, when I was a kid, watched this for the first time. This is the one everyone talked about the most.
So,
as, like, not something you wanted to do, but, like, just the most insane thing that was in the movie.
So Steve-O, who was originally lined up for the skit, they talk about it in the movie. He has a podcast now called Steve-O's Wild Ride. And he was having an interview recently, and he, to this day, was like, I kind of wish I did it.
Really?
Because it's like, it is the skit for him. It's like,
the end
this
skit.
is the skit. Like, because he was talking to Aaron McGhehey, and it's like, well, you had the skit for the second movie. This was the one for the first one, and I kind of regret turning it down in hindsight.
I mean, it's the thing that made Dunn, because he's in the movie, but this is his one-on-one skit, like where he's the star of the skit, and his one starring skit also happens to be the big finale of the movie and the one that everyone remembered like the year after the movie released. And it's still funny. Like it is so dumb. I don't know what their plan was or how much research they did into this.
It was just the shock. I think they just wanted the X-ray. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's the X-ray that just makes it so funny. The X-ray, just having that perfect car in there and just it coming out like that, just 100% makes it. And also that doctor's response and the fact that when he's leaving, he's like, "You go straight home. You don't tell. You tell this person already knows too much. You don't tell your girlfriend. You don't tell your boyfriend.
Whoever.
You don't tell anyone.
Like, progressive. Dude,
this guy already knows too much.
Progressive dude is like, whoever. Don't tell him."
Yeah.
But there's also like
2002.
Yeah, in the call, I love the phone calls. Like they're getting all like gay with each other. Like, wow, you can tell when this came out. But yeah, oh man, yeah, so good, so good. And like that poor doctor, you had to watch him insert it for safety reasons.
And then the other doctor, the X-ray technician.
Yeah.
And the poor nurse
was looking at it and was like, "What the fuck is this?" What do you think of this one anyway, Ash? The big finale of the movie.
I mean, it's something.
I'm really excited for you to see number 2. Because this is like, as you said, like this is really good, and this is the ultimate, like this is the big da-da, and it's just a dude with a car in his butt. But like you wanted more, and like the next one is exactly that. So like, even though you might feel a bit flat on it right now, you want it.
The opening and ending of the both next movies, they both have like way more extravagant opening set pieces and ending set pieces to cap in the movies, and they're always so much better. Although a lot of people get highly injured at the end of the second movie, so it's also
they really did.
They did, yeah. One of them was life-threatening and nearly died from it, in fact. So I won't spoil who that was, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Keen to watch the second one right now, actually.
I'm legit just going to do it when we get off here. I'm just
a screen share that pass and watch it.
I'm keen. Look, 100%. I should, at the start, I missed it. But like the only reason we're doing these is because they announced, because they kept like being like Jackass 4. I'm like, I'll believe it when it happens. I'll believe it when it happens. And then I know they talked about like, they started filming, and I heard they stopped filming because of COVID. And I was like, did they go back to filming? What was the go? And then randomly the other week when they're like, here's some posters, comes out October, trailer coming soon. Literally a couple hours after we get done recording this, the trailer will drop. And this is coming out like weeks and weeks after. It's fine. Like I'm dating this, but it doesn't really matter. We're just recording these ahead of time. As soon as they announced all that, straight away I was like, I just want to watch Jackass now. I want to watch, like, if I had all the time in the world, like literally if I had all the spare time, this is like, I don't know if there's something else I could really compare it to. I don't know, like, because it is my teenage years. It is like a movie franchise and the thing I was obsessed with in my teenage years. And there hasn't been one for so long. And they're like, here's another one. And that part of my brain's just like, I just want to watch Jackass. I want to watch Viva Bam. I want to watch Wild Boys. I want to watch CKY. I was listening to nothing but CKY all day. I was listening to Viva Bam soundtrack. I was listening to sounds, him, fucking, like Rasmus. I was just I'm on the thing at the moment,
like,
to make
things even better. Like, to me, because I've done a couple of different like retrospective things about franchises that mean a lot to me in parts of my life. The other one being Kevin Smith. They announced the Clerks 3 shoots next month or something. Yeah. So like today's been a great day for past Ryan. So I feel you, dude. Like I'm in the same, but I'm like, can I watch the View Askew universe again? Do I watch like all of Viva La Bam again? You know what I mean? I'm like, then it ends with Bam's Unholy Union. It's all kind of sweet and lovely. And then,
and then we don't talk about Bam at the moment. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening, by the way? Actually, let's just cover it real quickly before we end this pod. Bam is the one core cast member who, well, other than Ryan Dunn, who passed away, unfortunately, other than him, Bam is not back for Jackass 4.
He was back, but then he got booted.
And he got fired. He was back for like a couple of weeks, apparently. He is, unfortunately, and it's like as someone who I had hanging on my wall as a kid, is fortunate to say, but he is like major struggle with like alcoholism and very obvious mental health problems. And he's had these problems ever since Dunn died. And it's very obvious that he spiraled out of control after Dunn's death. He just hasn't been able to stay on the right path. And that is unfortunate, but I completely understand why after you read about what he was doing and how, like just what was happening on set. Apparently Jeff Tremaine had to get a restraining order on him. So
see, I saw it semi firsthand, right? So when he had a band for some reason. It was called Fuckface Unstoppable, and they did a tour.
It was horrible.
It was bad. They did a tour of Australia, and they came to Geelong, and I was like, I have to go if it's in Geelong, and like I'm standing there in the middle of this pit, looking at the stage, and it was that moment of, because here's a dude who's like late 30s, probably pushing late 30s at this point, and he is just, and like Novak's naked and clearly out of his mind, and I'm watching this going, I think this is it. like that moment I went, oh, okay, I've just realized I've aged out of this, like right now. Like I thought I was there, but I was very clearly lying in the sand. Like, no, I'm out of this now. It's kind of sad. It was actually kind of sad because like you could see it, and like they had like some real musicians. I'm pretty sure that like Jess Margera was on drums, and you can see that he's trying to do his part, and it's being nothing but difficult, you know. And like Novak literally tried to start a fight with a dude in the front row for whatever reason. Okay. Yeah, man, like it was a fucking hot mess of a show.
Novak's like 100% sober now, and like being a like
he is. Yeah, it's insane how good he is.
Novak's trying to do for Bam what Bam was doing for Novak in like 2008 when Novak was sucking dick for coke. So
heroin.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll get the drug right. It's fine.
I mean, the tattoo.
Did you read his book, by the way?
Heroin doesn't give it away.
Yeah. Did you buy his book?
Yeah, I've got a signed copy of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a signed copy. I just got a copy. I've
got a signed copy of Bam's book as well.
Nice. Wonder if we'll ever get that movie, by the way.
Oh, probably not.
I've been talking about doing that movie for like years and years and years. All right. And the ending.
So the trail, the final credits, just a bunch of extra skits that didn't quite make it, including the big final Looney Tunes-esque ending.
Yeah, which is disappointing, but they get them all right for the rest of the movies. I guess the bigger budget and time and everything, they can make sure all the stuff they wanted to have happen works, because it's just weird to think that they had an idea where they wanted every cast member to have a part in this big scheme, and it was just going to be this one real cool shot, and they used some of it in the end credits or whatever. But then the reason they couldn't do it is because they didn't even have time to be like, oh, how do we fix this? It's like, well, we don't have time, we just got to end the movie.
Yeah.
So
because they couldn't let's reload it and start again.
No. Which you'd think if they had more money and time, it's like, no, this is the last day of shooting. Just cut to Rip Taylor saying, oh, the next one, we'll call it
that's also a
whatever it
returning
is.
thing, by the way, Ash. You see a lot more Rip Taylor.
Yeah, he's back. He's in every movie, so.
He's Johnny Knoxville's big fan.
Spoilers at the end of the movie. He's always throwing out the things and whatever else. I have no idea how he ever met and got agreed to do these things and whose hand he shook, and if it's just Johnny Knoxville being a super fan or something like that.
He didn't take off his toupee in this one, though, so there's that.
That's true. It's true. Rounding out thoughts, Ash, after going through all that.
What were your top three?
Yeah, what would you say? What were the ones you actually enjoyed? Was there ones that made you laugh?
I mean, the golf.
What ones made you laugh?
The golf, air horn. That was good. Quickly go back over the list. Anything with the old people. I mean, that was great.
Old people? And you haven't watched Bad Grandpa, have you?
No, I haven't. And,
maybe you should.
Maybe.
It sounds like it's up your alley, at least.
I know. Now. Ask Gets Kicked by a Girl. That was pretty good as well.
Right?
Ahead of its time.
Yeah, Golf Air Horn is certainly up there, as is Bungee Wedgie, that game of the giggles instantly. Like I said, it was, yeah, well, as I said, like, no, this is probably my least favorite of the three, mostly because with that look back in hindsight of knowing where we go, and they do somehow manage to step it up each and every time. So it's like there's a lot of things that stand out, like, you know, of course, like the butt X-ray and stuff, and just Ryan Dunn's dry ass delivery. Well, not dry ass, there's lots of lube, but I mean, like that dry delivery that whole way through. Like he's just like, I have a car in my butt. I'm here for an X-ray, and like he's just
in the credits when they ask him to come over, they ask you,
like, run, and he just like walks over. He's like, I'm not gonna run here.
And that's the thing, and like that's admittedly that also came through as well. I did get a little bit of sadness seeing Ryan Dunn, because, you know, and I talked about, as I was sort of saying before, you know, he talked about when I hear about Rab coming back for the fourth one, is these were a family. Like they were a family, like not all fucking Fast and Furious about it, but they were a family. And like we as the viewers, we saw a group of friends, a group of really good friends, have fun together, be the friends group that we all wish we had, you know. And looking back and like seeing, you know, just the extra innocence that comes from age, and knowing where it ends up, I just couldn't help but be like, this was fucking cool. It was very cool. And then I got sad, and then I was like, wow, I have 2 more movies to watch. And I got excited again.
I think my 3 would be golf, butt X-ray, and golf cart. That would be my top 3. Although I laughed a lot in this movie. I went into it being like, will I laugh as much at this one? Because a lot of these ones are just simpler, or, you know, just not as elaborate as the future movies are and whatever else. I was giggling away for a lot of it. So, and I don't know if that's just a lot. Maybe that's just nostalgia, of course, because I can admit that I have obviously a lot of nostalgia.
There's a lot of roasting the glasses, in my opinion, on this one too. So, if anything, Ash, you probably have the most accurate critique of these films.
Yeah, probably.
And, but I'm just gonna sit here and tell you that you're wrong if you say it's bad. Just straight out. I'm sorry.
I love how, so as we wrap up, I scrolled to the bottom of Wikipedia and has like some reception, you know, reviews, and talks about how it was like so poorly received. But I was laughing at the Edbert and Roper one, where it's like Richard Roper called it a feel-sick movie of the year and said the film is disgusting, repulsive, grotesque spectacle, but also it's hilarious and provocative. God help me, thumbs up. And he's like one of the most prestigious like film critics that, you know, around and stuff like that. So, and there's a few of those. There's a lot of people that shat on it, but a lot of the positive reviews, if you look at it, people are just like, this is fucked up. I don't know why I'm enjoying this, but for some reason I was laughing. So like, I don't know, 7, you know, like there seems to be like a lot of that where people were surprised to be laughing as much as they were. So, yeah. And this is the start, really. That's the funniest thing is that Jackass TV series was popular. Well, no, I wouldn't say worldwide phenomenon. It was this after the movie where they all took off, because between this, and this is worth pointing out before we wrap up, and we're not back until we're talking about the second one. So they don't. So it went CKY. I went and found a list quickly so I could get things. You had CKY, Jackass Season 1, CKY 2, Jackass Season 2, CKY 3, Don't Try This at Home, Steve-O 1, Jackass Season 3, Jackass the Movie, and then you have CKY 4, Viva La Bam 1, Wild Boys 1, Steve-O Out and Bail, Viva La Bam 2, Wild Boys Season 2, Steve-O The Earlier Years, Viva La Bam 3, Viva La Bam 4, Wild Boys Season 3, Steve-O Gross Misconduct, Viva La Bam Season 5, Jackass Gumball Rally 3000, that's really funny, Wild Boys Season 4, and then Jackass 2. Their mass popularity, in my opinion, where they reach mass popularity is between this movie and the second one. And that's why they have so much of a bigger budget, and the popularity of number 2 is because they actually sort of reach peak popularity between Viva La Bam and Wild Boys and all that other spin-off stuff before they come into doing the second movie. So, and that's why we get what we get with that one.
I still remember seeing it. I still remember seeing 2 in theaters, but we'll talk about that next time. But
yeah. Well, I never saw 1 in theaters, but I saw 2 and 3 in theaters. Yeah. All right.
Don't fucking shaking your head at Ash. You're like the disappointed dad of this podcast, all right? It wasn't bad. You know.
That was his job. That was his job, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be on here to be like...
Just here on the toilet, you guys coming in and smacking me with...
Actually, I do want to ask, though, Ash, like, even though, because I'm sure we'll ask as each one, but, like, can you understand the appreciation and, like, the
I can see the appeal
of it, yeah?
Yes. I can understand. And it's why it's been so watered down and sort of dissipated into what we see on, like you said, on YouTube, that kind of, and then also the other extreme of people taking it the next step up, and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
because this is all we had when I was in high school. You know, there wasn't YouTubers doing this stuff yet. Maybe they were trying to, I guess, around that time, but there wasn't like super popular ones that were inspired. You didn't have other TV shows and stuff like that. It was like Jackass was Jackass. So.
I'm pretty sure there were other TV shows that you could have watched instead of Jackass, but yeah.
Like what? I think so.
It was a big black hole in TV. It was nothing, and there was Jackass, and
there was. That's 100% right. You know, I had to buy a secondhand box set of all of them, cheap. I couldn't even afford to buy them all.
I still got mine somewhere.
The same.
That would be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars back then.
I think they were expensive at the time. Yeah, because I distinctly remember, I had my day job. When I was working my school, and I did my after school job, and that was I worked at Golo, which is a discount chain here in Victoria. I think people know it as like Clint's or Silly Solly's. It's the same company, different states. I remember like in my first paychecks, I spent buying I remember buying CKY DVDs, him CDs, just anything of that sort of merchandise at that time. Yeah, a lot of money went on that shit. It's pretty early on.
I could never find CKYs. I had to torrent them all.
No, I had shout out to leading. It doesn't exist anymore at all. But shout out to Leading Edge Music in Traralgon. They would get me fucking anything. I would like
the DVDs as
everything, you name it. Like they would just like this little black market of fucking secret shit. I'd be like, hey, I saw this. Is this possible? And they went, I got you back. And because I would go in there like every Wednesday and just spend money from my, from my dollary from my paycheck, and they would just be like, hey, this new shit came in. Hey, we know you like that. Have you thought of this? And like, they just wanted to get money out of this 15-year-old kid, and it worked.
Did work. By the time Video Easy opened up here, they were then stocking all the CKYs and all the Steve-O stuff, and I was very surprised considering it was a small store that they opened up like close to me. I was like, why the fuck are you stocking like all these Steve-O home videos and CKY tapes and shit like that? But
the only downside is I had the Steve-O box set, but they're all censored. Like any of the really gnarly stuff, they cut out. I was like, I remember having a ripped version of it from somewhere. I'm like, the version I have on this DVD is way less gnarly. Like, what the fuck? Like
the burning or the him like stapling his ball sack to his legs?
No, as in like there were just some things that were just cut out of it. Like, the ball sack one I haven't done, but like stapling your arm, not as gnarly as you think. It's just shock value.
No, it doesn't actually. It doesn't actually hurt, to be honest. I did it a couple of years ago. Maybe it was like 4 or 5 years ago actually. I was drunk somewhere. Someone had a stapler there. I just did it again. Yeah. It doesn't hurt.
So Ash, as a wrestling viewer, like when someone gets like fucking stapled, it's not that gnarly.
No, I've seen football where they have to like staple people's heads closed. The gashes.
I don't think that's the same.
Sure? One's necessity, one is for party trick.
Yeah. Party trick. Grab a piece of paper, get someone to write something funny on it, you fucking like staple it to a part of your body, barely hurts. No. Easy party trick, 100%. I'd still do that, to be honest. I'd still do that. It doesn't even hurt. I'd still do it today. Yeah, it's fine. Save that to a charity stream or something. I don't know.
That's the promo art of this pod. It's just Dylan, you would be something stapled into us.
Oh dear. All right, that'll do it for this first special episode. I nearly forgot it was a podcast. Eh?
Oh yeah. Sure.
What do you want to watch? Special thing. Come back in next week. We'll be talking about Jackass number 2. And of course, week after, Jackass 3D, but we're not watching it in 3D because who the fuck owns a 3D TV? And we'll just be watching Jackass 3, where there'll be moments where you're like, that was obviously made for 3D, but it's fine. It's still fun.
I'm going to do some extracurricular watching, and I'm also going to watch 2.5 and 3.5. Just because I'm I'm feeling it now.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Because 2.5 has the best skit ever. And I die every time I watch it. Like that, it's like trick shots with basketballs, but into other people's dicks at distance, and it's so good.
Again, Ash's face. I almost wish this was a video show just solely so people could be watching Ash's face as we describe certain things. But yeah, all right. Thank you for joining. Don't forget, go follow Ryan. Watch Haggard MC at the PopCulturists. YouTube.com/the PopCulturists.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
What did I miss? Is that good? You can do your own pitch. It's good. It works. I was like, I remember everything. I did write it down, so it's going off the top of my head.
Sell. You got it.
All right, got it. Cool. He'll be back next week though. He can pitch you more then. It's fun. Check out, of course, next episode. Check out normal episodes. What do you want to watch? I'm sure we've talked about something exciting this week or next week on a normal episode. It's fine. And until next time, keep watching stuff. I guess. No, keep hurting yourself. I guess. Keep enjoying Jackass. I guess.
Home, all right?